2 years of my life, I had many of that. And I think that's what really gave me to a shift in my mindset that able to, for me to move forward. So every single day, I'm just saying to you guys now, I actually trying to cultivate that, and I'm going to give you some of the tools for you to do that, because I believe that when you have a shift in mindset, a shift in insight or so, it's like when you have a real cloudy, like cloudy thoughts, and like you just, you kind of get stuck, and all of a sudden it's like this stream of sunshine just peers right across that clouds, and then you just go, wow, you get like this absolute clarity that has come out absolutely nowhere. And that's because you are actually tapping into the creative source within you, the innate intelligence. So I'm going to give you how to cultivate, and that in 5 steps. Okay, did I write 3 or 5? Anyway, if I wrote 3, I'll give you an extra 2. Okay, cool. So the massive shift in understanding, or a small flash of insights, and it feels great. And every single day I try to cultivate that. I actually have an affirmation that I tell myself every single day, that I am a miracle and I expect miracles every day. And my miracle is just even a shift in insight, because I know that if you keep thinking the same thing, you're going to do the same thing over and over again. And if you're trying to have a different experience or a different life, then you need to be thinking differently. And you can't think differently if you don't have a shift in your thinking, right? Okay, cool. Hey, Rebecca, what's up? So the first thing, because an insight, or like an epiphany, is something that is, it's that feel-good feeling, right? So all of a sudden you just get it. Hey, Harry. So to do that is in the inspirational realm. So inspirational frequency. So you need to be tapping into that, and you need to do whatever it is to tap into that inspiration, because it's inspired. Something comes from within, this innate intelligence that gives you that insight whenever you need it, right? So it's like in that moment, that's what I call aha moment, right? So it doesn't happen before, it doesn't happen a second after, it just happens right then and there, that you need to needed to happen, and then you go, wow, like, why didn't I think of that, right? So you could be doing the same thing, all of a sudden you have an idea, like a solution to something that you were pondering about. So the inspiration is the inspiration frequency. You have to cultivate, find what it is that you're passionate about, what is it that you want to do every single day, that creative habit. You have to work on that. So for me in the past, it used to be, when someone used to ask me, what is it that I want to do, what is my creative habit, I was like, I don't know, but right now what I know is I love makeup. Okay, let me go and do that. But back then my thought process was like, well, I'm not very good at it, I don't want to show people that I'm not good at it, I'm kind of a little bit ashamed that I kind of been studying makeup for like 10 years ago, and then it's not, and I can't even do it. So find that creative habit and keep doing it every single day, and that's gonna get you to tapping into the creative source, which is the inspirational source. And if you do that every single day, then that muscle is gonna get stronger. Magic, absolutely. You mean my makeup is magic? Is that what you're saying, Kina? Thank you. Okay, cool. So number 2 is you need to commit to it for a long time. Or what I would say for the rest of your life. Because the thing is, at the beginning when you do it, you're not gonna feel anything. It's like, when you go to the gym, like if you go to the gym, you work out 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, do you see anything? You don't, right? So you gotta keep doing it, because every single thing, it just, thanks, Skinner. Everything is just gonna take a very tiny little movement, and then eventually it's gonna become an avalanche. And that's what I always talk about. So you need to commit to it, and you need to follow through your urges. So at the beginning, you might get it wrong. At the beginning, you might, you have to put the intention out there, and then you follow through that and go, could that be my inspiration? Could that be my insight, my epiphany? And you just go, every single day I intend to have an epiphany. Every single day I intend to have a mind shift. Thought shift? Anyway, yeah, a mindset, aha moment. So if you just commit to that, and then you just follow through, then you're gonna be able to get that. So now I have to say that, if every single day I just get like an aha moment, just a tiny little bit every single day. Like I literally feel like my life can just change like, over a year's time or something. And I feel like this year, because I've been doing it so much, I feel like it's on this exponential ride that I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Look, my friend Sohan, he's actually inspired me to do this. So hi, Sohan. If you haven't followed this dude, you need to, because he's amazing. Okay, cool. So number 3 is you need to be open and alert. So what that means is that you need to be present, okay? That's going to be really hard if you are just thinking that you are your thoughts and you let that monkey mind just dictate you where you need to go. You need to, you have that monkey mind to tell you, oh my God, I forgot where put my keys, or what am I going to have dinner for tomorrow? What am I going to feed my kids today? Like what am I going to do this and that? And you're not really being present. So when you're actually being present, you're able to pick up the signs, like weird signs, and you just like these messages that kind of repeat it over and over to you. Like if I hear somebody say a book 3 times, I'm like, I need to read that book, because something in there must be for me to find out, right? So therefore, you need to be open and alert. And even in conversations, or sometimes you overhear another conversation somewhere and go, oh, wow, why did they say San Diego, for example? And you go home, you go, oh, and then you kind of tie the knots together. And then when you start, okay, this is number 4, okay? So I'm going to give you the tool to be open and alert. That is my favorite, is meditation. Now, you guys will think, oh my God, I've heard this millions other times. I don't want to hear this. You don't have to do meditate. You can, go for a walk. You can, go for a run. You can just literally do things that you go, make your mind bored out of your brains. Because you know what happens? If your conscious brain has to focus on something so boring, it literally switches off, right? And then the inspiration, the insights from the inside, which is your higher self, which is your real self, which is your amazing self, right? Which is that innate intelligence, is going to flush through, and it's going to give you the insight, the epiphany, the result, the solution that you were looking for, whatever the frustration that you had before, or whatever, make your mind work. That's right. That you had before, okay? And for me, meditation is the bomb for me. My meditation, every single time I get out, I write stuff, and I'm like, oh, and I could join the dots. Right? And I couldn't join the dot. Look, if you just wrote 1 dot, you can't join it. Let's just be real, okay? You need many dots, and then you go, wow, I have this innate intelligence within me, and I never know how to tap into it. Okay? If you need to know more how to do it, let me know, because I have tools. I can show you guys how to do it. But that's what it is. That's exactly who you are. You are this unlimited potential that's within us, and we don't even know how to tap into it. So you have to allow yourself to do that. So number 4 is you need to keep tracks of your ideas. You need to keep tracks of your observations, and the more you record, the more you're able to connect, and the more you record, the more you want to look for things to record. Okay? So why am I saying that? Because at the beginning, when I started writing my journal, my mentor told me to write a journal. I said, I don't do diaries. I used to do diaries when I was a little girl, and I used to just write about boys, and now I don't do diaries anymore. He goes, a journal is different from a diary. I'm like, okay. So I listened to him. I start writing, and of course, I will be writing stuff like, today I did this, today I did that, and it's so boring. But eventually, because I trusted him, because I know that he's, I love the inner peace that he's got. I love what he's got. So you need to listen to the people who have the result that you want, okay? Okay, good. So, because he's got the result that I want, I admire people with inner peace these days. I don't admire people with luxuries, okay? I'm just going to put it out there. And so I seek out these mentors of mine going, hey, excuse me, where did you get the inner peace from? How did you get it? How do you do it? Can you please tell me? And when they tell me, I do it, okay? Because there's no point of going, you know what, that works for him, but it's not going to work for me. But let's just be real. We all have that innate ability within us. So I would use the tools, because before I didn't have these tools to do. So now that I've been told what to do, I'm just gonna listen to him and I do it. So initially, going back to my story, I start writing, and it's just like a diary. And over a year, okay, it's not like I just tap into this inspiration, epiphany things like on the dot. Like I can't just switch it on like that, because for the last 30 something years of my life, I've been switching it off. So therefore, if now I wanted to turn it on again, I have to make the intention. I have to make the effort to go, God, universe, whatever it is, I really wanted to tap in to this being of mine that I've been ignoring for a long time. You know, please, because I know you have this universal, I don't know, like insight somehow that's going to help me move my life forward, or help the people around me, or whatever. So every single day I make that intention. Every single day I wake up with that intention. And then so when I start writing down, and then now that I have so many evidence that all these dots that I start to join, I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. Okay. So number 5 is don't get stuck in the frustration. What do I mean by that? So when you're frustrated, you are not going to be able to tap into the solution that you need. So a lot of times in the past, what I was taught is you're just going to keep at it, and then you're going to get the solution. You keep at it, and then you're going to be able to find the solution that you need, or you get to the bottom of it. You cannot get to a bottom of a problem, okay? Because whenever a situation arises, we put a meaning to it, right? When we put a meaning to it, it's like, okay, this is a problem I need to solve. This is a challenge I need to solve. A solution already popped up. But it's not going to be the same frequency that is happening on your problem, your frustration. So whenever you're frustrated, more frustration thoughts going to come. Right? So therefore, you're not going to get the epiphany. You're not going to get that aha moment. You're not going to get the insight. So you can't apply that to your solution. So again, you need to do other things so that you can tap into the stream of inspiration, the stream of solution, the stream of well-being, the stream of abundance. Does that make sense? So therefore, I'm gonna use an example like your radio dial. So if you are listening to 106.5, you are not gonna get a rock song. So imagine if the rock song, it was your problem, was your frustration, and you keep on broadcasting that you have a problem, I have a problem, then you're not going to be able to tap into the solution, the insight, the epiphany that you need to get your problem sorted. So you need to either move away from it, or you need to reframe your problem so that you're always in the, like you step away from the problem so you're not in it, so that you can see, so you can get into that epiphany. But in all, summary, you just have to get yourself into the stream of inspiration, the stream of well-being, and the stream of abundance, right? So that's why I gave you a few tools before for you to do, so that you can actually do that, so that you can have the solution to your problem. Like whenever, like for example, you don't know where you put your keys, right? And you walk around and go, I need to find my keys, and to find my keys. Because when you say, I need to find my keys, you are thinking your keys lost. So what are you broadcasting? You're broadcasting a problem, right? So you're not going to have that epiphany. But the innate intelligence within you is going to tell you to, for example, let's go and look at your bag, or, like go and get that bag, change your bag because it's going to match your outfit, whatever. And when you change that bag, it's like, actually, it's in that bag. Does that make sense? Because you weren't even looking for the keys anymore, because you're not saying that you are losing that key. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, epiphany is just like that. So the moment when I had an epiphany about the epiphany, that's when I'm like, that's when I do everything I can. That's why you see me so joyful. That's when you see me so, lighthearted. Because again, I had another epiphany, was the way to enlightenment is to lighten up. I'm going to repeat that, right? The way to enlightenment is to lighten up. I'm like, oh, that makes sense, right? So that's when I really, I really wanted to do that. I really wanted to, how can I lighten up and everything? And it's my life hasn't always been like that. Like I was so chaotic. I was so, angry with my life. I was so frustrated. I was so depressed, and all these things, all these problems that I used to have, and I used to think those problems were my problem. Like I have to be in it, I have to experience it, because the more I can justify, the more problems that I go through, then the more I am rewarded for a better life. But it doesn't work like that, because when we're born perfect. We are born to have this abundance in life, but going through all of life, and as we learn how to live in this life, we forget that, right? Right, another truth about lighten up. I mean, it's true. The way to enlightenment is to lighten up. Right, so I wanted to share with you my epiphany that I had today. So today I took my son to Google headquarters, and he was selling his way to Google, right? And then I, when we got in, I was really excited, and I remember, and I was just so grateful. I was sitting there, and I said, in 2016, where like just before I was quitting my job, I remember I was like, I really wanted to do well in my job, and I wanted to, network, to start speaking to different people and stuff. And then one of the ladies, she went to Google, and in my head, I'm like, wouldn't it be nice to check out Google head office? Like, I wonder what kind of people they have there, what kind of cool dudes that, what kind of cool personalities that work there. I was like, I had no idea how I was going to get that, but that was one of my desires, and today it manifested. And also it manifested with my son being there as well, is that because every single day, my biggest picture is what can I do today to add value to him, right? What can I do today to I can give him the experience, the skills, the things that I never had, not so much of the material things, because I gave him the material things, and I felt like they were just it wasn't gonna add any value, right? So as I was doing this, I was like, if the more I can network and the more I can put myself into the circle of friends and the influence that I have, then my son or my kid's gonna benefit, because they're gonna be surrounded by the big thinkers, by the leaders of the world, so then he can learn, and he can just be equal with them, right? So another thing as well is that I didn't want my son to feel like he has to bow down to anybody, because growing up, that's what we were taught to do. Growing up, we were like, we had to, every single time whenever we see somebody that is older than us, we have to bow down like this, and we have to we were punished for if we don't bow down to people. It's like that's just in my culture, and it was more the repercussion in my family is like more than anyone that I know of. So I grew up, I was very scared of people that are, have a higher places than me, or if it's just older than me, or if it's just bigger than me. So whenever I bring him to these things, I make sure that, I teach him how to, how to communicate, how to respond whenever they talk to you. So it's more like the people skills that I feel like this is the domino effect, the domino piece, that if I can get him to, work on his people skills, then that's gonna help him with everything that he does, because everything we do with other people. And today, for him to be sitting in Google and having one of the Google guys to interview him, because he was selling chocolates in the Google headquarters when in the room that we were, I was like, oh my God, I was just sitting there like, I just feel so happy. I was just like, you know what, if I die tomorrow, I'm pretty satisfied. I do my best to every single day tapping into that innate ability of mine for me to be at my best. And when I'm at my best, that means that I can also, be the best that I could be with the people around me. So that innate ability, that innate intelligence in you is the same as innate intelligence in me. And whenever we are tapping into that, we know that that's going to benefit not just us, but the world around us. Right? Hey, Catherine. So I would highly encourage you, watch my video again, and just listen. By just listen, I don't listen because you're probably thinking, why just listen? When you listen, right? But a lot of the times when we listen to judge, we listen to say, oh, she said that wrong. We listen to disagree. We listen to understand what I'm trying to say. So when you just listen by just when I say listen, it's like when you have just the music behind you and not judging, you just let it, just let it play. Then you kind of suspends your belief, then that's when you're going to be able to pick up a lot of things what I'm saying, because you are no longer putting that monkey mind in front to judge and to put filters around in what I'm trying to say. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. That makes sense? Okay. All right, guys. So I hope you guys enjoy what I just shared today. I was saying to my friend, I'm like, I want to go live today. While I have my pretty face on when I just got home from Google. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys do, please, share it. If you find value, tag someone that needs to hear this message, because I think epiphanies epiphanies change lives, because it gives you a different perspective to the problem that you're in, the frustration that you're in, the situation that you're in. And then that's when you're able to, come up with a solution. Because if you can't come up with a solution with the same thinking that got you into the problem. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Okay, guys, have an amazing night. And Americans, good morning. Love you all. Bye.